Hi everyone, I'm Taron and this is Verve version 0.99u.06 and I have news for you. Boy, do I have news. Yes, because I've changed a bunch of things. You see this new piece of the interface here? Let me turn this on. Boing! A canvas texture. Yes, finally. Ah, and the fitting default for it. The brush. That one. So, and yeah, I was watching some soccer of the World Championship, and it was like a very boring game, and I had this funny idea on how I could actually make the fluids work easily with a background pattern like that. And so I just wrote it, and it worked. There it is. And you may notice already, see when you smudge here, then it actually sees the canvas pattern properly and smudges accordingly. Yeah, so there's that. And brush 9 in particular actually sees the canvas directly while it is drawing, while the other brushes still ignore the canvas for the drawing part. But since the fluids do not ignore the canvas, the fluids actually still work just fine on so when you smudge with another brush, like let's take brush number 2, see when you brush with it, it ignores the canvas, but as soon as you smudge, it shows that everything is still active. Okay, so there's that. What else about this? Well, you can adjust it. It's completely procedural at this point, because I wrote that fractal noise for the brush number 8, that one. And that is in essence exactly the same routine. In fact, it is that routine. It just fills the canvas. And so well, yeah, let me just show you the settings. So you have actually 2 times that fractal noise. One goes horizontal, the other one goes vertical across the screen. And yeah, and you can adjust how much it stretches. So that way you can get different kind of basic fundamental patterns for the canvas like that. And let me turn on high quality to look at the highlights here. See, now it's much nicer. Now it does a bit of subsampling, but you know that already. So okay, so you can stretch a canvas like that, each part, and you can bias between the horizontal and the vertical aspects, whatever you want to, if you wanted to favor one, if that floats your boat, if that appears appropriate, you can do that. So there's that. We'll leave it at 50. Then you have the density, which is the equivalent to when you look at brush 8 over here, check this out, and what I call bristle size over here, that's exactly the same effect. There. So there's that. It can be very interesting. Oops, very interesting. There. Actually, that has some very other fun effects, or can have some other fun effects. Yeah, okay. If you make another layer and you brush, so you can actually use that as almost like a kind of a stencil pattern, but it's goofy for now. I mean, it just works in case you want to play with that sort of stuff, but we don't right now. So, all right. So there you got the density, and then we have the size. So you can make a very coarse, large pattern. We increase the strength. You can see that's going to be stupid. Maybe I should hook that to the perspective. Strange. Yeah. But it's an interesting opportunity to actually see what's happening when you smudge, I think. Maybe you see it. No, not so much, actually. Now you can see how it repeats in an ugly fashion. But anyway, so it's not a canvas texture at that point. So you can go for a very tiny size or a medium size. whatever you want. You stretch it. When you put the stretch to 0%, it actually reveals the noise quite nicely. That is kind of a fun thing. See? That can be useful. Who knows what it's good for there. I leave it open and let you explore and have some curious experiences with that stuff. So, well, I prefer it rather small, with slight stretch and a little bit strength only, but full density then. That gives a nice complete pattern like that. I like that. So there you go, it's all procedural, but also you can turn it off. And when you turn it off, everything acts like it used to, which is amazingly dull actually. I can't really, if I look at it now, I go, oh, what? Why? How? Never mind. So now you have a nice canvas. And yeah, let's have a look what happens when we use fluidity. We turn off the drying and maybe turn on opacity based on pressure, maybe reduce the buildup a little bit, and maybe increase the fluidity so we can see a little bit more of something happening here. And you see the fluids see the canvas. And that is a little strange sometimes at first. We turn the fluid sharpness to 0 too. So that way the vectors get diffused a bit. And yeah, but it is no less quite interesting what happens. So the more paint there is, the less the canvas will influence the motion of the fluids. So the rationale behind it, of course, is if there's already enough paint, and then the canvas texture is filled with stuff, so why would it still influence it much? Well, let's not talk about physics, please. So all of this is pure heurism, as they say, I suppose. But it looks nice, and it's quite fast. I think if I went for absolutely correct physical principles, I'd first of all be in trouble because I don't know them. I would have to do my research for that. And also it would probably require a little bit more computation than this, and this is very quick. So it's a mild bit of trickery, but still all logical. So don't think this is just total nonsense. It's logical, it has some logic that is sound enough so that this kind of works. Okay. So you also can see the more paint there is, the less you see the canvas through the paint. Like when I go into the empty area here and see, and I lay down the paint rather flat, then you see the canvas through the paint. But as you go over it, there, buried. So it's, I figure this probably looks a bit more natural that way. Also the layers understand that. So when you add another layer, it will know whether there was already paint. So when you paint on top of that, see, you won't see the canvas texture on that paint right here because there's paint in the layer below. If I turn that off, boink, so you can see the canvas texture over here. Hit Taron, you don't. If I go into layer 1 and I erase here, see, then you can see the paint again, which is probably the more surreal thing. So there's that. Also see if I flatten out the paint here, I distribute it, and then I can see more of the paint beneath. Turn this off, see, So, okay, that's the canvas for you so far. A lot of tweaking is still necessary, I'm afraid, but it's a start. Yeah, some funny things, like some funny oversights. I've already shown you one funny sort of oversight, and that is that if you use brush 9 sees the canvas as it draws, but I have it not see the other layers. So as a result, you'll be able to do this kind of wacky stuff. They're like stenciling. Oh, let's make it even more intense and like that. See, like painting like that over the whole thing, which is a bit weird, of course. But who knows? Maybe it's good for something. Never know. Could be cool. I don't know. I don't know. It's all stuff. Yeah. And same with the fluids. The fluids themselves, they yet don't see the layers. But because of what I've started here, I have figured a rather convenient way to actually hook that up as well. But it most likely will take a toll on the processing a bit more, of course. Yeah, because it has to accumulate all the layers always on the fly for that, and that will be a little bit more processing, so that could get a bit slower. This, however, right now doesn't seem to create any kind of noticeable slowdown for me here, and I have not the best card, so there's hope. Alright. I'm so mature. Alright, so the other cool thing that I'm very happy about is, let me just fill that canvas over here. Sure. Let's merge this down. Boink. Alright. So the other cool thing is I finally addressed the layer modes, the blending modes. See, additive always worked, so that was fine. We use additive blending. Like so. So additive blending always worked and was fine, and you can merge it down, especially if your layer below is filled completely with paint, then it's less of a problem to merge it down. So let's merge this out. See, works just fine. It just added the material on top of the existing material here. So there's that. And yeah, but now the multiply mode works as well. Da, 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 da. Oh, that looks scary. There, see. Ta-da! Isn't that great? Finally, multiply is working as well. There's that. And you can merge it down. Same thing. Boink, see? Yay! Yippee! Interesting. Yeah. So there's that. And I had a funny accident with that stuff a moment ago. It was a bit weird. Wonder if that would happen again. Turned off the canvas, I brought the stuff into motion. I really don't know how that happened, but when I turned the canvas on, nah, it's okay again. See, everything's fine. Yeah, but some funny stuff happened. It was quite cool actually. It looked good, but it was, of course, it was a bug. So yeah, not exactly sure what happened there. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, this is okay. This is exactly what I would have expected should happen. Anyhow, so there's that. Yeah, and yeah, if you work with a bit of fluidity, I think it's more about the feel of the paint, because the canvas texture really creates a very natural slowdown to the way the paint then moves, and I find that somehow appealing. It's really nice. This is average. It's not smudging. When you smudge, it looks like this. Of course, you have all the settings still, you know, the blends and all that. So, yeah. So there's that. A canvas. Finally. Really didn't expect it to be that easy. Thank goodness for boring soccer games. They can have their merit. And that's interesting. Almost looks like the paint underneath wasn't moving. Neat. Oh, and by the way, I hooked up import, so you can actually load images. I don't know. Some reference images somewhere. I don't know. Animals, cats. So I have it a bit stupid right now because it's like I was kind of apologetic by now about not hooking up any kind of other format import. So now JPEG and PNG can be imported. And it can change the resolution to whatever you import, and that's just fine. Boink. See, so now it is at that resolution. Yeah, and you can, you know, add a layer and start playing around. You know. Anyway, so there's that, and you can also, of course, paint on the painting itself, or you can even deform it. Oh. Well, that's just being goofy. Oh, darling. What? Oh dear goodness. Yeah. Anyhow, so there's that. How about fluids? Oh, it's all over. All right. So there's that. And yeah, multiply. Oh my god, I can't multiply. Why am I so happy? I should be so ashamed. And it took me so long, and if you knew what I was doing, that was very hideous. This is very strange. Yeah, I'm honestly mildly ashamed about this, but now it works, and it's fine. So import works, but if you import something and you don't want to change the resolution, it just plugs it into the center. So let's say, oh no, that. Make this a bit smaller. So you wanted to import something other than that. Landscape. Yes, a landscape. And then I say don't change it. Then, oh wow, I imported into the multiply layer. That's pretty funny too. Interesting. Oh, I should say that too. It imports into the layer you're on, so it's not replacing your entire project. I sort of naively figured that people want to use it as reference rather than whatever. And so I figure, you know, that way it's the most flexible. So you can just add a layer and then open any kind of image into that. Like that. Don't change resolution. Tweak. Yeah, see, and it just hooks it into the center. So there's that. Yeah. Oh, the canvas is on. That's fun too. Whoa. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, all the wild thing. That's actually quite interesting. Wow, this is a curious way of faking something, huh? Is that... Oh, is that successful? Kinda. Oh, that's naughty. Shoot. Don't do that. I'd be very mad. Very mad indeed. Shoot. That's no good. Well, anyway. But yeah, I mean, as long as you're having fun, that's okay. That's whatever you want to do. So, import works. Oop. Oh, change the background color. Yes. That's cool. Oh, wow. This is my canvas. Yeah. It's like that looks just like my... Oh, it is mine. Dang it. Yeah. So, yeah, it's fun to play with that stuff. It really, really is. Huh. I don't really think it's such a bad fake at all. Canvas, I don't know. Kind of neat. But yeah, so later on you'll be able to load your own canvas texture, because literally it's just a normal map internally, and so you could actually hook up whatever you want as a normal map for the canvas, and that should work just fine. Okay, but there's more to come, and I already have some stuff in the works, some stuff planned that should... Oh, that's kind of neat looking. Look at that. That is weird. Really integrates quite well. Okay, yeah, so stuff is gonna happen. Things are in motion. I don't have time right now. That's the only trouble I'm having. So this stuff is rather some quick stuff. Just hooked it up and prayed or something like that. Yeah, and it worked, and yeah. So yeah, more stuff. What did I forget? I know I was forgetting something, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, lots of stuff. Ah, yeah. The next thing I'm gonna do is smoothing for the strokes. Dr. Petter is on my case there and goes, "Why are you doing this? This looks so bad." And he's right. I'm gonna fix this. Actually, now it's recording, so that's partially the reason for why it looks particularly edgy, but polygonal. Normally, it's not that bad. But bad enough. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it. So there's that. But enough of all that. Oh, yeah. So I hope to see you on the forum too, because there are things are happening. We have a daily sketch forum now too there, for Verve only in essence. That's the whole idea behind it, to just have some genuine Verve fun. And yeah, and you're extremely welcome to join. I'd be very happy, and there are already some really cool things going on, fantastic artists, and I've got help from Jim and Virtue1. That they really know how to make a phenomenal impression. I'm so thrilled about their support. And so when I am too busy, they will be there and they take over, and everything will be just fine. Okay, so until then, well, I hope you get to try it out, and happy painting, I think. Happy drawing now too. Right, bye for now.